Mango was a boy who lived in a forest with his animal friends. He loved to explore the woods, play with the animals, and learn from nature. One of his best friends was Fawn, a young deer who was curious and brave. They often went on adventures together, discovering new places and having fun. One day, as they were walking through the forest, they heard a loud cry for help. It was coming from the clearing where the elephants lived. Mango and Fawn ran towards the sound, worried that something bad had happened. When they reached the clearing, they saw a group of elephants gathered around a large female. She was crying in distress. Mango recognized her as Ella, the mother of Eddie, a young elephant who was his friend. Mango, Fawn, thank goodness you're here, Ella said. Something terrible has happened. My son Eddie has been taken by poachers. We need help. Poachers? Mango asked. What are poachers? They are bad humans who hunt animals for their tusks, horns, skins, and other parts, Ella explained. They sell them to other humans who use them for decoration or medicine. They don't care about the animals' lives at all. That's horrible, Fawn said. But how did they take Eddie? He's so big and strong. They came in the night, when we were sleeping, Ella said. They used a big truck. They shot him with a big needle. Eddie fell asleep, and they used a big net to catch him. They also had guns and knives to scare us away. We tried to fight back, but there were too many and too fast. They drove away with Eddie before we could do anything. Where did they go? Mango asked. They went towards the edge of the forest, where there is a road that leads to the city, Ella said. That's where they sell their captured animals to other poachers. We have to go after them, Mango said. We have to save Eddie. Yes, we do, Fawn agreed. But how? We don't have guns or knives. We don't need those things, Mango said. We have our brains and our hearts and our friends. We can outsmart them and rescue Eddie. You're right, Fawn said. But we have to hurry. They might hurt him or sell him before we get there. Then let's go, Mango said. Ella and the other elephants who thanked them for offering their help and followed them behind in the rescue. Mango also asked some of their animal friends to join them on their mission. Leo the lion, Zara the zebra, Rocco the rhino, Tia the tiger, and Banjo the monkey. They all set off towards the edge of the forest, following the tracks of the poacher's truck. Along the way, they encountered many dangers and obstacles, traps, hunters, but they also used their skills and abilities to overcome them. Leo and Tia roared to scare away the hunters. Rocco and Zara charged through a fence. They also helped each other when they needed it. Mango bandaged Rocco's horn when it got injured by a trap. Fawn led the group in the correct direction. Tia protected Banjo from a hawk that tried to catch him, and Banjo picked some fruits for everyone to eat. They worked as a team and supported each other as friends. The elephant groups followed their tracks behind as they were slower. After several hours of running, jumping, hiding, and fighting, they finally reached the edge of the forest. Ella and the other elephants also joined them soon after. There they saw a big warehouse with a sign that read, Wildlife Trade Center. That must be where they keep Eddie, Mango said. And all the other animals they captured, Fawn added. We have to get in there and free them, Mango said. But how? Ella asked. The place is guarded by poachers with guns. We'll have to be sneaky, Mango said. And smart. He looked around and saw a pile of crates near the entrance of the warehouse. He had an idea. Hey guys, he called out to his friends. I have a plan. He explained his plan to them in whispers. They all nodded in agreement. Let's do this, Fawn said. They put their plan into action. Banjo climbed up to the roof of the warehouse and cut a hole in it with his sharp teeth. He then dropped a strong vine through the hole and tied it to a beam. Ella and the other elephants held onto the other end of the vine. Mango and Fawn hid inside two of the crates and waited for the poachers to load them onto a truck. Leo, Zara, Rocco, and Tia waited behind some bushes near the gate of the warehouse. They waited for the right moment to strike. The plan worked. A moment later, the poachers loaded the crates with Mango and Fawn onto the truck. They didn't notice that they were actually hiding inside them. The truck drove into the warehouse and parked near a cage where Eddie was kept. He was chained to the floor and looked sad and scared. Mango and Fawn got out of their crates and moved quietly towards Eddie. They hugged him and told him that they were there to save him. Eddie was relieved to see them. Eddie, we're so glad you're okay, Mango said. Mango, Fawn, you came for me, Eddie said. Thank you so much. He was so happy. Don't thank us yet, Fawn said. We still have to get out of here. They looked around and saw that there were many other animals in cages. Lions, tigers, zebras, rhinos, monkeys, bears, wolves, and more. They all looked sad and scared too. We have to free them too, Mango said. But how? Eddie asked. The poachers have the keys to the cages, and they have guns. That's where our friends come in, Mango said. He whistled loudly. That was the signal for Ella, the other elephants, to pull the vine. They pulled the vine with all their strength. The vine pulled the beam that supported the ceiling. They were so strong that the beam bent and the ceiling came crashing down. The crash made a loud noise that startled poachers in the warehouse. The poachers forgot their guns and knives and ran towards the source of the noise. That was the signal for Leo, Zara, Rocco, and Tia to attack. They jumped out of their hiding places and ran towards the gate of the warehouse, joined by Ella and other elephants. They used their claws, teeth, horns, hooves, and trunks to break through the gate. They entered the warehouse and attacked the poachers from behind. They roared, bit, scratched, kicked, gored, and swept the poachers until they were knocked out or ran away in fear. That was the signal for Mango and Fawn to free Eddie and the rest of the animals. They used rocks to break the chains and locks that held the animals in their cages. They then opened the cages and let them out. However, just as they were about to celebrate their escape, they encountered the most dangerous moment of their quest. The notorious poacher leader, known as Black Claw, emerged from the shadows, blocking their path. Black Claw was a menacing figure, notorious for his ruthlessness and cunning tactics. He sneered at Mango, Fawn, and Eddie, relishing the thought of capturing them all. He raised his knife, ready to strike fear into their hearts. But in a surprising turn of events, Ella charged through the chaotic scene, trumpeting loudly in a display of maternal fury. The ground shook beneath her colossal weight as she confronted Black Claw head-on. The encounter between Ella and Black Claw was a battle of wills and strength. With her powerful trunk and sheer determination, Ella managed to disarm Black Claw, causing him to flee, vowing revenge. With Black Claw defeated, Eddie ran towards Ella and hugged her tightly with his trunk. "Mum, I miss you so much. I thought I won't see you again." Eddie's eyes were filled with tears. "Nope, Eddie, we will not lose you. Mum is always by your side. Now, let's go home." The other elephants cheered for their reunion. The animals were touched and overjoyed to be free. They thanked Mango, Fawn, and their friends for saving them. They also hugged each other and celebrated their freedom. They decided to return to their homes in the forest. They invited Mango, Fawn, Eddie, and their friends to join them. "Thank you for everything," Eddie said to Mango and Fawn. "You are my heroes." "No, you are our hero," Mango said. "You never gave up hope. And you are a friend," Fawn said. "We will always be here for you." They hugged each other again. Mango and Fawn joined their friends and followed the other animals back to the forest. They left behind the warehouse full of broken crates, cages, chains, locks, guns, knives, nets, trucks, and poachers. They also left behind a sign that read, "Wildlife Trade Center," but they changed it to Wildlife Free Center. The entire forest rejoiced at their return, celebrating the bravery and resilience of Mango, Fawn, and the animals who had aided them. The young elephant was reunited with his family, his strength slowly returning with their love and caring. Thank you for watching. Please support by subscribing to this channel for more interesting stories. Thank you.